Hey everyone, how's it going? Shuffle's back here with another video, and today what I want to do is go over some of my best geared units and some of the units that you guys always ask about because I have to show them constantly on stream. So I figured maybe you guys would be interested in seeing the stats of some of my best units out there. We're going to do a top 5, so let's just jump right into the first one, and the one that I get asked about the most is my Litica. So this Litica gear brought to you by this guy. He decided to post a nice comment on one of my last videos, and so I figured if he's gonna troll us, then we're gonna troll him right back. So yeah, it's free gear removal. So there's my Litica. Moving on. Uh, Next up on the list, one of the units I use most often in RTA is Alexia. So Alexia is probably I don't want to spoil anything just yet because we do have the tier list coming out again in about a week's time. But she is definitely one of the top units in the game right now. I feel bad for all the people who recalled her or didn't summon for her because they were listening to Reddit again. But she is now one of the most wanted and most used units in RTA. Let's take a look at her gear. She has speed boots with crit rate, crit damage, effectiveness, and HP. This piece here I want to replace. That's why I haven't 90'd it yet. I could have done it. I decided not to because I think I can just get a regular Wyvern piece to replace this. So I'm going to do that instead. Um, but it's still not a bad piece. Speed, crit rate, crit damage. This neck is really strong. Immunity neck with the 20 crit rate and 21 HP with the speed. It is absolutely perfect on her. Then we went with the Hellraid chest piece with the 24 crit, 24 HP, and speed and defense. Then on the helmet, we have HP, defense, crit chance, effectiveness. This was basically a filler in order to replace some of the stats that I don't have here and to make sure she gets it to 100%. Once I find a piece for here, I'll find a piece to replace this one. And then finally, the Hellraid weapon as well with the speed, crit chance, and HP. So when gearing her, she doesn't get really any bonus damage from her attack, so you can afford to sell out on all HP if you want to. I used to have 20k HP and 2k attack, and I switched it to this, and she actually does slightly more damage while still being tankier. A lot of people ask me why she doesn't have more effectiveness, and quite honestly, it's because she doesn't need it. If you're using her, you're not usually trying to strip, like say you're facing an SSB, DN, and somebody else. Usually what happens is you end up going into um, you're trying to kill the SSB first. You're not really worried about stripping the DN, and you're going to have max chance to land, especially because you do get a bonus on the Mind's Eye proc as well, bring it up to 50% chance, uh, 50% effectiveness when Mind's Eye is procced. So that's not going to change your chance of landing the strip. So I would even, if it was for more crit damage, I would trade the 20 effectiveness if I had the opportunity to. Um, and of course, Draco Plate is the best artifact for her, as it does give her more or less incoming damage and more outgoing damage at the same time. So definitely the best option for her if you don't have it on someone else. Up next, we're going to go into Cdom. So Cdom, uh, somebody that I never really thought I wanted early on. I was like, she's really good early game. I don't know how good she's going to be late game. She's more of an enabler. I don't know if I need it. I'm hoping I have the gear to overcome it. That being said, I love my CDOM. I use her all the time, especially in RTA. Gets me some easy wins being able to cleave people when they aren't expecting it. She has basically just as much damage as possible. Let's start on the right hand side with the boots. She got attack boots, speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack, and flat attack. The ring is really just for the speed and the crit damage. Because she doesn't need high crit rate, because she gives herself a crit buff, she doesn't need crit rate on this piece. So the fact that I had a 27 crit damage substat on this, plus 9 speed, I was more than happy with it. This is another beautiful piece with 14 speed and 30 attack on it. It is on a broken set, but again, I didn't need a crit set because she's already over the min. This might be her strongest piece and one of the probably the strongest weapon I have for a damage dealer with the speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack, combined 51 damage between the attack and the crit damage. And then these two I haven't 90'd yet because I'm already at the crit damage cap and they don't help me get any higher in terms of speed or attack. So let's take a look at these. This one here is really nice. It's got 36 crit damage on it. If I 90 it, it'll bring it up to 43. But as you can see, I'm already at the 350 crit damage cap. So I'm kind of waiting. I do have that 7 extra crit damage there. I'm hoping I can find a replacement for this one, which would, with all the same substats, except I would need 4 crit rate, 4 crit damage, and either higher attack or higher speed. Honestly, I don't really think I need the higher attack. The higher speed would be better. So if it went like 4, 4, 20, and 8 or something, that'd be amazing. But we'll see. Hopefully I can find something to put in that slot, and then I can also 90 that and bring her back to the 350 crit damage with more other stats as well. Up next, sticking with the Dark Mages, is Spectre Ginebra. So I'm really happy with her gear. It doesn't get too much better than this. I know some people say they want her on immunity. My thing with immunity is if you need immunity on her, you're probably bringing her into the wrong team. I would love immunity though. Like, to be fair, there are, like, say you're going into, I don't know, I can't think of a good example, but say you're going into something where you might get stunned on first turn and then you're going to be fine after that because there aren't any AoE damage dealers. It would be nice to have immunity on her there. That being said, I really only use her in Guild War and in RTA when I'm going for first turn. When I'm not going for first turn, it's the next unit on the list that I would end up using. So I'm looking here for more pure damage output potential. She doesn't do a lot of damage, but she does have the option, especially with Book, to be able to attack multiple people and therefore kill multiple people or kill one and then land a stun on the other. She's very flexible in that regard. Plus the fact she can't be revenged is kind of how I use her. Let's take a look at her right side first. We're starting with attack. This is the only piece of gear that I want to replace. I just don't have a better piece for her that has speed, crit rate, crit damage on it. I do want to replace this though. This might be her best piece. One of the main reasons she's not on immunity is because of how ridiculously broken this piece is. Crit rate, crit damage with 14 speed and 19 effectiveness, all amazing stats, all big rolls on her. This piece is like a once per account type piece, so I'm super happy to have a good place for it. And then this is another great piece as well. High crit damage, attack, and effectiveness. The only thing we didn't get was the speed, but we did get a high defense roll on it, so I can't complain about that either. Moving on to the left-hand side, another perfect piece here. Speed, crit rate, crit damage, effectiveness. Speed, crit rate, crit damage, effectiveness. And speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack. So you can see every single stat on all of these pieces except for the defense on that piece, and then the resistance on this piece are perfect. Those are the only two wasted stats on the whole thing. The defense here I don't even mind, really. The only thing that would technically be better here would be either speed or flat attack. So honestly, I don't mind the defense there. This one, though, I would love to get rid of that res, just to make her a little bit stronger. But other than that, she's pretty much perfect. It doesn't get much better than that. I'm really happy with her gear. And finally, the unit that I would use when I don't think I'm going to take first turn, but I still want a single target damage dealer, is going to be Little Queen Charlotte. Little Queen Charlotte is potentially my favorite unit in the game right now. She's a lot of fun to use. I love her art. She's just so cool. And of course, the thigh highs there got me hooked. In terms of gear, everything is already 90. There's nothing I really want to replace on her except for maybe the weapon, but we'll get into that. So starting with the right-hand side, she is on attack boots with crit rate, crit damage, and a couple HP substats. If anything, I'd maybe like some speed on that, but I'm honestly not worried about her speed. I actually had a chance to make her faster. I tested it, and I brought her back slower again, but we'll get into that in a minute. Moving on to her ring, she's got crit rate, crit damage, and more tanky stats. This piece is incredible. This is not even her best piece, but it's one of her best pieces. Crit damage with speed, crit rate, attack, and flat attack. That flat attack does make a difference, so I'm not unhappy about that at all. Um, Moving on to her chest piece, another perfect piece, speed, crit rate, crit damage, HP. Again, you can't get attack on the chest pieces, so being able to get the HP on there is nice because I do want her to be a little bit tanky. This is her nicest piece. This is probably my best helmet that I own. Speed, crit rate, crit damage, attack with high rolls on it, a combined 46 damage between the crit damage and the attack. Really, really, really nice piece here. And it's on an immunity set, which is even better. Pairs really well with that neck. And finally, the helmet, or sorry, the weapon. This weapon, I've had options to replace it. In an ideal world, I find a piece that has 16 crit rate with kind of similar other stats here. Um, I have one with 16 crit rate that has high attack and low HP, and I have one with 16 crit rate that has no speed. And it's kind of, I've been having a hard time finding a better piece, but she's fine the way she is. She does plenty of damage. If anything, I really just want that 2 more crit rate to give her 100%. That's why I'm trying to find a replacement for that. And of course, I have her on Scythe. A lot of people, it seems counterproductive to have her on Scythe because she does already heal with her skill 3. But because the Scythe, that skill 3 heal is a full heal. Also, people tend to focus her a lot because they don't want to get to Frenzy in RTA. And because they're focusing her, she's down below 50% health a lot, which also means that she gets the extra 25% bonus attack when she does her attack, and she now heals with her skill 1 as well. So that makes her crazy dangerous with Scythe. I do think Scythe is by far the best option on her. Keeping in mind that Draco Plate does not work. The damage reduction doesn't work on her because she already has her own damage reduction. So I think that's the best option for her. There's her stats. I really enjoy her. Like I said, I wouldn't mind a little more tankiness, but the way I use her is a little more offensive than it is reactive. Um, so I can deal with this. I had her down at about 13.3, and I wasn't overly happy. It was 13.3 HP with like 167 speed, and I just wasn't happy with it. I switched it back. I traded the little bit of speed because the speed, keep in mind with her passive, she does get the attack bar boost a little bit when she gets hit. So she can end up cutting people that you don't want her to, like for example a strip or something like that. So that can be an issue. And coming back to where we started the video with Litica, I don't want to leave you guys hanging all that much. I'm not going to give you the speed, but what I will tell you is that when I'm gearing her, what I'm looking for is as fast as possible, so like as close to 300 speed as you can get, with speed boots, an effectiveness ring, she needs that effectiveness, and a crit rate neck. So the crit rate neck is basically to boost the CDOM. If you're not running her with CDOM, you don't need it, but you probably need a crit rate neck because you need 100% crit rate to go with the speed. Also, I run her on Sachet as well. So her final stats, like I said, as close to 300 speed as possible, over 100 effectiveness with 100 crit rate, and that's what you're aiming for. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope this helped you guys out. I've been meaning to make this for a while because I know we do get a lot of questions about it. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This channel is starting to grow a little bit finally, which is really nice. I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you all next time. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.